afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and get airborne. Wow, seems like that was a quick weekend, man. I needed a hell of a lot longer weekend than that. Very busy week last week with our full throttle. We did get 50 new members, and of course, the phone didn't stop ringing today to be 51. So it always cracks me up how people don't listen, but that's why they don't make good options traders and usually don't end up here. Okay, so a lot to cover, a lot of good stuff going on in the chat box. Diane, we'll talk about that. This is weekly options, folks. It's every Monday at 1 o'clock. It's only supposed to be a half an hour. It's very quick. It's a very tactical live trade brief. We look to put on a weekly options trade today, manage it maybe for a one-day gain like we did last week, maybe hold it till Friday. Hell, maybe not even get into one today and get into one on Friday. It just all depends. Obviously, it's a market, and we take a look at what's going on in the market, and obviously things are fluid. So, some weeks I sit on my hands. I don't trade weekly options if the market's just going super nuts, and don't do anything. Just a couple quick. I'm going to cover some quick administrative notes for some new folks. You're welcome, Harry. Thanks for Win. Win is a winner chicken dinner, man. How many of you got into that Win trade that I talked about last week? It was a toss-up. I'm like, hey, I need to either do Win or volatility, and they both printed money. Edmund did. Edmund, I signed your book. It's on the way. Brian, JW, Bill, Matthew, Elaine, Tamara. Oh yes, lots of money. Out for 10 cents today, Fish. Diane, in and out this morning, Tim. Couple, Paul. Yes, thank you, Edmund. You're welcome. Awesome. Charles, when I've been closing credit spreads, I've been getting a lower credit than the cost whiz. If I can close the credit spread for a positive number, and it might, Chuck, you need to, for now, I this isn't an academic session for now. Everybody should have access to the Options Weapons School videos, like the last time I did Options Weapons School in the fall. Chuck, I strongly recommend you take a look at the session on vertical spreads, bullish or bearish vertical spreads. For a credit, you want the entire credit. You want it to go down. You shouldn't be, it's sell to open and buy to close is the terminology, right? So, Chuck, make sure you go to this page right here and you get up to speed on some of our training. Greg's win is up 67%, and he's going to hang for a little bit more. And then Diane up here said, let's see, I've been trying for a week to get into the VXX trades, the 28.5, 29, 27.5, 27, puts unsuccessfully. Has anyone gotten in? How many of you are in the VXX bullish double vertical? Again, this isn't weekly options, guys, but I know there's a lot going on, so we'll try and cover some of this stuff. John is, Brian's both sides, JW is, a lot of yeses. Tim's in and out this morning again. Tamara, yes. Steve only got the put side. Kevin only got the put side. Edmund's in, Jeff's in both. I'm in. Okay, so Diane, I'd say maybe 80% of folks did. And look at us today, man. We were up as high as 17% today on the VIX. We are up almost 20% on volatility, man. What did I tell you? What a great call to get long on volatility. I got long Wednesday night, and you could have tried and gotten filled Friday. And then on Friday, I told you, hey, man, this is getting a little. Let's get some. Let's go get some airspeed on the jet. So, good looking, awesome trades. The bear call spread. And again, folks, everybody's, this market's only going up. It ain't going up today, folks. It's not like this is anything to write home about. This is a little bit of a blow off here. Apple's under a little bit of pressure with some stuff, but that's what's dragging the Dow lower is only Apple. So, and remember, folks, I said what? I told some of the people, hey, even if you're not going, if you don't know what a bullish double vertical is, and even just that name creeps you out, I said go out to the middle of February and buy just some deep in the money 80 delta VIX calls, right? What did I say? The nines. I said the nines, I believe. The 8.5 are the nines, right there, right? I said, hey man, if you're not going to be here, and I think they were what, $3.10 or something. They're up about 50 cents, and however many you bought, you'd be up right now. So again, even if you just if you couldn't or can't get into a VXX bullish double vertical, Diane, what would be the drop back? the drop back is what? The drop back is to just buy some damn VIX calls. Go get some deep in the money 80 Delta calls at least to hedge against the increase in vol. That piece of shit FBI agent, quote unquote, he's a political hack. He's no FBI agent. McCabe, who should have been fired. So funny, the liberal media going apeshit last week trying to deflect from this memo and all the texts and the dirtiness in the FBI, bringing up again the fact that he talked about maybe firing Mueller. That was reported in June. The media talked about it for a month about how if he fires Mueller, it would be like Nixon and we'd all impeach him. Even some of the Republicans are saying you can't fire this guy. Now it comes out he's a dirty cop. Just about everybody he hired is dirty. He had to fire some of these dirty people. Well, Trump is completely within his right to fire the guy. So, and again, if you believe in the Bill Clinton tripe, it's the economy, stupid. Look at African American unemployment. It's at the lowest rate ever, and Obama didn't care about that. So, again, I don't want to take up too much airtime. We only go for a half an hour. We'll take a look at a weekly options trade. Even Amazon's up again today. Is the gift that keeps on giving. So great stuff on Win. Great stuff on volatility. Very, very happy with what's going on. Very, very happy with this. For about a month, North Korea usually does winter maneuvers. They are tiny. Why? Because he wants peace. No, because the sanctions and his fuel imports are hurting their military. And the liberals still frothing at the mouth for Trump saying, hey, my button's bigger and it actually works. I'm telling you, folks, aside from the sixth grade banter back and forth at the top, there are serious men and women behind the scenes talking to each other going, we will punch you in the face and we are going to kill you. We're talking to Russia and China saying, we're going to do this, folks. If you don't knock off this shit with you selling them their oil, we see it, guys. We're not retarded. Here's the satellite pictures of your ships giving them oil. You can deny it publicly. We know what's going on. Stop it. So, relatively good news there because they can't do anything. We talked about Brazil last week, still having a nice victory run right there. VIX tops 13. The first time in what, like 2-3 months that we've seen a VIX above 13. Isn't that awesome? Very, very good stuff. Apple, having brand X or 10X or whatever issues. Also taking a little heat from Ivanka Trump. That was a nice fire across the limousine liberals bow. That was pretty awesome. And isn't it funny? Again, Trump was handed this shit sandwich, folks. Barack Hussein Obama, shockingly, did nothing. If anything, he probably would have flown airplanes full of money over to him because then they would have loved us more, right? George Bush didn't do shit. All he called him was the axis of evil. Okay, talk about, harsh words. And we know what the Clinton administration did. They gave them $25 billion in nuclear reactors. Thank you. So, less volatility around this dude. They want to march in the Olympics together. They're not, you do have to be careful when you cage an animal or corner them. I mean, do they just cower and suck their thumb? Maybe this guy will, or do they lash out? That's a shrinking snake is a little creepy there. So here we go. Goldman out today with a paper that says, hey, a correction is becoming increasingly likely. Folks, these are your standard, like a Dennis Gartman or Harry Dent, right? Harry Dent's been saying the market's going to zero for 20 years or there's going to be a massive pullback. And then once in a while when there is, he says he's right and he uses that in his marketing for the next 10 years. It's a broken clock's right twice a day. Of course, we're going to have a correction or pullback. I briefed you on and then Zero Hedge stole it. I briefed you on, what potentially those 5 things could be. If it's nothing systemic, if it's nothing brutal or terrifying, it'll be a buying opportunity. Okay, so, but Goldman says, hey, the melt up has occurred. We already saw strong returns last year. Every sentence I read in this, I could poke a hole in it. So again, analysts are paid a shit pot of money at Goldman to sit in cubicles and write this stuff and come up with cool looking charts. And then guys like me can sit here and say, the strong returns last year were mainly on paper because of Donald. I posted a meme with Trump saying, or Obama saying, I have a pen and a phone, meaning I can work around Congress and do whatever I want as president. The next picture says Trump saying, I got a pen and the Constitution. Or no, I have an eraser in the Constitution. So him just getting rid of all these financial regulations and a lot of overly burdensome business regulations added a massive lift to the stock market. So don't give me this, I get it, but earnings really haven't been priced into this thing, guys. You know this. We're going to see 8 to 10%. All the bank earnings warned you of this. Hey, we might suck right now, but we are going to print money in 2018. So I get it, but this ain't. There is no collateral. We're not taking really, really, really bad debt and slicing it up into really, really good bad debt and selling it. That's not now. This isn't Pets.com. This is its own. If you want to say we're in a bubble, it's its own bubble. But if you look in the book of what would make a really good market? Strong GDP, low employment, low interest rates, a Republican in the White House, strong defense spending. We have it. Isn't that what's funny? And low taxes, Obi. That's exactly right. It's a great business environment. But again, here comes the Goldman doing the Dennis Gartman, Harry Dent. I love when they do something like this. I could be right. You know what, folks? Wiz Buckley from Top Gun Options. I expect a market correction in the coming months. Okay, first of all, define a correction. Is it 5, 10, 20, 1,000%, or is it 1%? Define your correction, first of all. And the coming months could be next December or this month. They're so vague with this crap. It's comical. U.S. consumer spending rises in December. The savings rate hits a 12-year low. Now, this is great news. Whoa, Wiz, hold on. People aren't saving money. Yeah. In my flight suit, I'll tell you that kind of sucks and that's not good. As my Gordon Gekko on Wall Street with Bud Fox, I'm going to tell you I don't want anybody to save. I want them to pump that money they get back from their taxes and everything into the economy. Show me the money. You got to pump those numbers up, kid. Right? This. So U.S. consumer spending rising in December is great news. High asset prices and the prospect of lower taxes entice consumers to spend more. Sales are up for companies, and so are wages. The NABE, anybody know what NABE is? The National Association for Business Economics. NABE. It's awesome. You know what, Brian? Yeah, we'll talk about that. I think that's in the other portfolio, but Visa. That is very, very bullish for our Visa trade. Absolutely. Reading that headline is it's awesome. Somebody just asked me what computer. The window. I'm just using Chrome. You can have multiple tabs open. Every browser allows you to, Mike, to have open multiple tabs. But I'm just using a regular old Dell. I have a bunch of screens and stuff, but this is it's a regular Dell. What else? And then we got to get trading. Amazon is Citi's top pick because of its growing advertise. What, Wiz? They do warehouses. They do content. They got shopping markets now where you just walk in with your cell phone. They got 5 Airbuses, and they're going to build their own advertising. May increased his price target to $1,600, representing a 14% upside from today's price. Amazon, folks, what did I tell you? Where's Richard? Richard's one of my Commanding Officers Club clients. He kept saying, "Hey, Wiz, I want to wait for a pullback to get in Amazon." I think he said that about right here, one of our coaching sessions towards the beginning of the month. I said, "Stop." He sent me a text. I think he's like, "Yeah." And was it still too late? I'm like, yeah. Every time you ask me if it's still too late, the stock goes up higher. Stop waiting for things. If you're going to be bullish on something out to January 2020, who cares if right after you buy it, there's a little bit of a pullback? Then you sell the hell out of a bear call spread. If it moves sideways like this, what do? You do an iron condor. So remember, folks, just because a stock is moving sideways or goes down, if we have a long-term trade on, we're making money. We sell front-month upside calls. Kevin, Amazon stock picked up today is up 10% so far. This is going to be our weekly options trade. It just got an upgrade to $1,600. How many of you want to bet that it makes $1,600 a hell of a lot before the end of the year when this dude, that's an analyst, guys. I get it. They lick windows and they're booger eaters and they got their slide rules and stuff. I'll bet you this is, this happens in probably 6 months. You got a stock that goes up 20, 30 bucks in a day. A couple $100 away from here right now ain't that bad. So, but we have, I wanted to look at Amazon, to be honest with you, but we have earnings this week. So, Fish, explain for the new people why the Amazon trademark of 40 cents is so high to get out of at current price. This morning at $10 cheaper, it was at $0 on the mark, but even could not get out at 15 cents. Guys, hey man, when you're a market maker in Amazon, you got to render under Caesar, what is Caesar's. So you might not get filled at mid-market. Okay, you might have to go a little bit above mid-market to get out of a trade in an Amazon, especially when this thing just keeps having this rip your face off rally. So Amazon's out for a weekly options trade. Why? And look at this. Amazon is running into earnings. What's that tell you? A lot of people think they're going to have some great earnings. I'm one of them. I think, here's what's funny is for the life of me, every year I've read reports on it, and they come out. Well, and that too, Brian. Vega volatility is a little elevated right now as we go into earnings. So that's another reason, Fish, that the pricing is kind of goof. So we are running into this, right? Because I never heard, and I've been looking every day for the We Destroyed Christmas report. This is the first year. I can't remember the last year. Apple came out with good Christmas numbers, but this is the first year I've never read an Amazon We Destroyed Christmas. I think they're saving it for earnings. I think that's incredible. So we got to skip Amazon for weekly options. We might get back into the SPX. I'm actually going to start taking a look at some weeklies in some other areas that I kind of do on my own, but I sometimes don't do in our portfolios. Is some of the financials. Yeah, Win it's still imploding, guys. They're talking about it now on Comedy Central. What they tell you, man? When something is either on a tear or it's imploding, either join it or get out of the way. I'd join it. I'd throw another bear call spread on here. The future of Wynn stocks, the future of Wynn Resorts. How risky is the stock? The stock is radioactive. The man's name is at the top of the hotel, for Christ's sake. Imagine that said Weinstein. Really? So it's awful. Harry, we'll talk, guys. We'll talk FXI. We'll talk other non-weekly options positions. I'm trying to tell you what I'm not trading. I'm actually looking. Let's look at this. I'm looking at a JP Morgan weekly options trade. Look at this. After earnings, a nice gentle climb. The reason we're doing a nice gentle climb is we are waiting. Greg, coming on 7 months, my long call diagonal is up 164%. Ladies and gentlemen, Greg's made 44 grand. Greg has made 44 grand on his long call diagonal in Amazon. Let me grab that. Everybody see that? Now I can get rid of your other Amazon, Greg. Greg long call diagonal. I can replace the last one you typed. Keep us in the loop on that one, man. Folks, that's one trade with Greg. Isn't that awesome? So it's just, forget about him. All right, so I'm going to look at JP Morgan. Goldman Sachs is coming back from the dead here. You want to know one of the reasons Goldman Sachs, I'm starting to hate it, and that's one contract on Greg's Amazon. You know why it's starting to come back from the dead a little bit here, guys? Is Lloyd Blankfein has changed his tune. Did anybody see good old Lloyd in Davos? It's like Donald Trump's his best friend. Donald Trump is like the greatest, smartest guy in the world. 6 months ago, he was on the Trump trolling train. He was trolling him on Twitter. He was just being a jerk. He was being your typical limousine liberal from the Upper West Side. Now he recognizes he can't beat him, so he's going to join him. He still does the this and that and social issues, but the dude ain't super stupid. Now, I'm bullish on JP Morgan. However, with the VIX up and the market swallowing here, we this is obviously a weekly trade, so we're going out to Friday. Keep an eye on any longer-ish out trades because we do have Chuck. Chuck is in the wings, waiting to swoop in and shut the government down. It is not. It's what's the 115? Maybe a little safer. So I'm looking at a bull put spread. We used to trade some weeklies on Goldman Sachs when I used to like it. It's too. It'll be the 116, 115. Threats to the week. Let me. Whoops. No, that's not. No, there's no. You know what? There's no real premium in this one, guys. We might have to stick with the SPX. Kevin, what was the one contract Amazon trade that was up 44K? Goodness, would be nice to have something like Webinar Jam so squatter mates can communicate. Kevin, we have GoToMeeting in two of our portfolios where you guys can communicate. I have too many people in this one. It's a long call diagonal on Amazon, Kevin. I've covered it a couple times. So we might have to go with SPX. Let's just go back in here and let's see what the ad does money. And Greg, when we're in GoToWebinar, you guys can talk. The other reason I don't like sometimes you guys all talking back and forth like an Accelerated Retirement, and I think it's Analyze Your Trade. I can't see questions since everybody's talking back and forth. Questions go by that, and then they have to get re-asked. So sometimes it's we'll talk webinar stuff some other time. Cautiously bullish, guys. You have to be cautiously bullish in this market. I don't care how many of these talking suits love talking it down. Last week it was, is this rally over? Are we overextended? Over the weekend, doing my calls and running on the beach and talking to other smart people, it's like last week never even happened. It's a different week, and we just keep going up, Wiz. I'm like, yeah. Andrew McCabe just resigned or got fired. He's a piece of shit. Hopefully he goes to jail eventually. The Grammys last night, of course I didn't watch them, but I'm just looking at the headlines. It's the lowest Grammys ever. And of course, Hillary Clinton. It's funny that people are going to try and keep themselves out of jail by keeping themselves in the media and being funny. What a bitter group of old people. Yeah, Greg, you know what? Why don't you do that? I can post it in the Ready Room. It is a 750 call, 760 put from the July 3rd webinar or July 3rd, 2017. Greg, post it in the Ready Room. Yeah, like I said, if you guys are doing anything that's crushing it, hey, man, take a little bit of a victory lap. I mean, that's just – I remember talking about that, Greg. I said, hey, it ain't cheap right now, to do a one contract long call diagonal on Amazon. It would be, maybe selling the wife and the kids, but guess what? You could be buying it back right now or a new one. So, yeah, post it in the Ready Room. That sounds like a great idea. Okay. So let's do this. No, Fish, I didn't go to the All-Star game over there. No, I was actually at the beach over there. Let's do let's take a look at the 2850. I like the level off last week. 2850, remember the market likes round numbers. The 2850 was a nice round number up here where we kind of level it. Every time we kind of do this a little bit of a level off, we get a nice pop up. Look at this level, 1, 2, 3, 4 days, pop up. That was a rise. A little bit of a level off, pop up, a little bit of it's a flight of stairs here, guys. So we haven't traded SPX in a while. I trade SPX. I do not trade SPY. There's a nice debate in the SPY is an ETF, right? It's the spider. I trade the actual indice, which is known as SPX. The bid ask is a little wide. There's a lot of intricacies to this. We'll talk about it during expiration week. There's some particulars about it because they have morning and afternoon settlement. Just suffice it to say, for today's purposes, since I'm already running late, we're going to do this Friday's. They have Wednesday options. They have Monday options. But I'm not going to do Wednesday. I'm going to do Friday. And I'm going to look at the 2850, 2845. Folks, if you are not a weekly options trader, nope, that's a little too rich. Let's go to 45. 40. That's a little bit better. Let's take a look at the metrics on this. I want to risk 5 to potentially, I don't know, make around 1995. Let's see where we are. That's because this is a higher probability trade. I like this one. Christine, Schwab does not have SPX options. I guarantee you they do. You probably just need to put a little symbol in front of it since it's an index. They do. I'm going to sell 15 of Friday's 28.45 puts. That's me saying, hey, SPX, S&P 500 index, not the ETF. I think you're going to hold this ledge right here. Let me, you know what? I forgot to brief you on the weekly events. That was stupid. That's what I usually do. Today, what do we got? Or tomorrow, I'm sorry. We already briefed today. This will be a big number. The Conference Board's consumer confidence number. Wednesday. The Chicago Wednesday will have some. We get the Fed statement. This is interesting. So this is the written statement coming out from the Fed the last time they met. You know, it's the written word about them saying, hey, you know, here's what we think rates are going to do or stuff like that. So that might move the market a little bit. Crude oil inventories, pending home sales, and Chicago PMI. Thursday. Oh, you know what? Wait a minute. We have a jobs report on Friday. But you know what? I don't care. Last time we got, here, let me show you something, folks. Last time we got $1.48. That was kind of a miss. You know what happened to the market? It didn't care. We're looking for $1.84 this time, and we're looking for unemployment to stay around 4.1. So non-farm payroll is on Friday. So this tends to be a volatile week, guys. Usually I don't trade SPX during a non-farm payroll week. I just don't care anymore, to be honest with you. Unless it's a blindingly awful number that's a miss, then which won't. So, Christine, the message comes that they do not have options for the underlying symbol. I can't help you, Christine. You got to call your broker. I have no idea. I don't use Schwab. They do trade the S&P 500. It's like SPX or RUT. RUT is the Russell index. Again, I'm not your tax attorney. I'm not your accountant. I can't give you financial advice. But like I said, there's a good discussion in the ready room about how there might be, maybe, potential tax treatment between trading in index and an ETF. I can tell you for a fact, based on my personal experience, there is. It depends on your broker, and it also depends on your accountant. So I will leave it at that, and you can Schwab uses $SPX, said Dennis and John. Yeah, like I said, you need a little symbol in front of SPX. That's what most brokerages do. Okay. So the 15 of the 28.45, 28.40 bull put spread. It's a credit spread, and I'm bringing in $1.20 credit. Okay. Let me grab a screenshot of this. All right. And thank God I don't need to send out any 90,000 texts. It's so funny, man. People calling today, hey, calling to get my slot. It's like, did you not hear that we don't have? It was me. Well, we'll see you in April. Or if you want to be one of my private clients for 15 grand, you can knock yourself out. SPX was today 129 metric. Okay, so as soon as we look on this slide right here, we look at max potential loss first, $5,700. That's a little north of my $5,000, but that's me. I'm the pilot in command, and I'm okay with that. Now we can look up at Happy Man using current at the money vol in the SPX options. There's a 73% probability of making $1,800 this week, and about 3 out of 4 times, man. If you don't get fractions or percentages, 3 out of every 4 times we place this trade with this volatility, we make at least something, right? Some profit, or we at least break even. Okay, so that is a good looking trade. It's a bull put spread. Let me grab this and we'll blast it on out. So I want to save a little time at the end here for new members. I wanted to get our trade out here because I want to, first of all, you have to send an email to support at Top Gun Options with your cell phone number. Doesn't matter. When I registered, I give you my cell phone number. Two completely different systems. They don't talk to each other. They don't even know each other exists. So you have got to send us a text, not a text, a email to support at Top Gun Options. Hey, I'm a new member, and here's my cell phone number. Okay? Trust me, I've tried to get my damn techies. They know speak together. Weekly options, new. SPX, SPX, bull, put, spread. 15 contracts. Feb 2nd, expiry. I'm going to sell the 28.45 puts. I'm going to buy the 28.40 puts at $1.20 credit. Remember, this is a credit spread. It's also a bull put spread. $1.20 credit, plus or minus. I'd go 10 cents wide, guys, meaning I'd go down to it. Nothing lower than $1.10. Otherwise, the risk to reward is just too high for me. Anything more expensive than $1.30, the SPX is selling off. It might be doing the mid-Monday kind of lulls and selling off. So if it's north of $1.30, I don't want to look at it. I might just hang out and smoke a Lucky Strike and then maybe look at the 28.40, 28.35 if it stops selling off. But that's why I give you a range. If it's too cheap, the risk to reward is not good. If it's too expensive, that means SPX is coming off a little bit and we might not want to have these strikes on, right? So if this starts going against me, I'd look to maybe adjust this trade. This is my adjust level and why you need to start watching the training videos. I'd maybe scratch my chin and adjust this trade if it went up in value to $2. Remember, this is golf. We want a low score. We want that credit to be $1, 90 cents, 50, 15. You want to get a text alert this week that says, hey man, I'm getting out of this thing for 10-cent credit. Nice, $1,500. Okay. Now, God forbid you're away from your desk or going for a run or picking up the kids or something like that, and you come back, I double the credit that I took in and say, hey man, if this thing mysteriously pops up to 240, that means the S&P 500 rolled over hard. Trump fires Mueller. Crap. Eject. Get out of the trade. And you should be seeing my screen, guys. Who said no screen? You're seeing what I'm seeing. I'm just typing in the text here. Everybody should see this. So that's the eject level. Let me copy this. And everybody should be getting texts. There's only a handful of our Canucks, our friends to the north, whose telecom companies don't believe that this isn't spam. And folks, if you are having text issues, if you haven't done this, I mean, my techie was doing it for a while, was calling your telecom companies for you. That's not his job, folks. Call your tech company and say, allow 5-digit numbers. I had to. T-Mobile stopped. I stopped getting texts. I'm like, they're like, that's a spam number. I'm like, you calling me a spam number? So, yeah, Paul, everybody's seeing my screen. All right. Weekly options. But this text, SPX, this text comes within seconds, or this email comes within seconds as well. Boom. It takes exactly 2 seconds to get this email. Okay, so there's our trade. We're working it. We have the primary live trade brief tomorrow afternoon at 1. For new members, a couple things. I do a daily market video that's free that you need to, I don't know if you automatically get it. I thought my techie said, hey, anybody who registers for Full Throttle or any of my promotions going forward automatically gets put on the sit rep list. If you didn't, if you're not getting my daily, I didn't shoot today's yet. I've been on the phone on my typical Monday morning. I haven't shot in today's yet. So go to this page and enter your name and your email address, okay? So name and email is free, and it's posted on the website every day, okay? They are not, I had to subscribe. Okay, that's not good. So everybody go to this page right now and subscribe to the sit rep. It's the daily video. Before I forget, let me, I'm going to tell my techie that. Thank you, Deborah. Is anybody else not getting these? That pisses me off. Everybody should be getting the sit rep automatically. So, Mike, do you recommend putting in a stop loss at the 240 point or just exit if it reaches that point. Mike, I don't use stop losses at all, but that's also because this cell phone never leaves my side. Doesn't matter if I'm going for a run, I'm at lunch or wherever. I'm always, kind of keeping an eye on things. The problem with putting in stop losses, guys, to be honest with you, is sometimes I will fly past my eject point. For example, if I put this trade on right now, Mike, and 10 minutes later Trump says something stupid and the market implodes, it's Monday. Remember, with weekly options, Monday is like a week to a weekly options. Tuesday is week 2. Wednesday's week. There is a world of, how many times have you guys been in a week recently when we can't even remember what happened Monday? It was like a world ago. Trump's going to vaporize North Korea, and by Friday nobody remembered it, and the market's up 300 points. So the danger, guys, and I say this tongue in cheek, is premature ejection. Lou, you're not getting the sit reps either. Lou, listen to me. If you're not getting the sit reps, you need to look into your spam. This happened to me too, Lou. I was giving my techie grief. I'm like, why am I not getting the sit reps? And he said, hey, man, look in your spam. If you're not clicking on them and watching them, Google does the old, hey, I think you don't like these and they're spam. Lou, I guarantee you they're in your spam. They were like that to me. So you got to go into your spam and mark it not as spam. Does that understand, Lou? I stopped getting them. So Tamara said they are in her spam. Exactly. So David, you're not getting the sit reps, then you need to go to this page. Everybody do this right now while I'm talking. Go to the go.topgunoptions.com/sit reps. Subscribe to that because it gets pushed to you, meaning after I complete it, I press send and they go to everybody. So that pisses me off. I gotta have a call with my techie. And like I said, if you did sign up for this and you're not getting them, it's because they're in spam. I had the typical Google. I don't watch my own sit rep because I'm the one that shot it. And then I guess after a while, Google said, well, this dude never opens this. So now we're going to call it spam. So every once in a while I open the sit rep and I have to click on it so I get it. Yeah, some people, Harry's like, I subscribe to both. I subscribe to your YouTube channel here. So this is, everything's on here, all the replays and everything from last week. But it's easier to go to the sit rep because it gets pushed out. Okay, Edmund just signed up. So everybody, please do me a favor and look in your spam and click on it, and it won't go to spam anymore. Everybody, also, you should have a Twitter account. Okay, I am at WizCheck6. I hate Twitter. I think it's stupid. I hate Twitter. I think it's a bunch of limousine liberals that, if they don't like your speech, talk about being fascist. They don't like your speech. They call you a fascist. That's actually the definition. Democrats are the exact opposite of what they call things. The Affordable Care Act is unaffordable. We're anti-FA, which means we're actually FA. So sign up to this because you need to be following me on here. StockTwits. This is like a Twitter for stock. There is great intel on this site. Last sit rep was 127. Yeah, of course it was, Paul, because that was Friday. Or no, that's Saturday. The last sit rep wasn't on 27th. They might be sending. Once you sign up, you should get. I do a Monday market like today. As soon as I get done with this, I'm going to do a Monday market outlook, and then I do a Friday market wrap up, and then Tuesday through Thursday, I call it the sit rep, the situation report. Steven, I'm still working with TradeStation. I'm most likely not going there. I'm probably staying there to trade personally because of money, because it's commission free for me for the rest of my life as a veteran. But I might have to stay with E-Trade for teaching. It sucks. I'm not happy with TradeStation at all. Tamara and a bunch of other folks have a good discussion going on in the Ready Room about different brokers, so you might want to stop by there and check it out. But no, StockTwits. You get a StockTwits account, man. This isn't Yahoo Finance. If you post spam or penny stock or any Bitcoin crap, they block you immediately and ban your IP. I had a marketing person accidentally post like a, hey, join Wiz at 1 o'clock post. I know the dude that started this. I had to like petition him to let me back in and never happen again. So this is not going to get spammy. You want to be on StockTwits, guys. It's awesome. And then finally, where's JP? Are you in here, JP? We had a great time Friday night. So the event was actually it was supposed to be Havana chic. I guess I got my invitation. I thought it said Guantanamo chic, and I went with my A Few Good Men look. It was pretty cool. I got up and I gave, my auction item was one of my keynotes, and I can get anywhere from I don't know, 12.5 to 25 grand for a keynote. So I got up there and kind of pitched a little bit, and some great American, a guy who owns a lot of patient care clinics around South Florida, bought a keynote for $4 grand. And as I was leaving the stage, another guy stood up and said, "Hey, I'll match that donation. I want a keynote too for my company." So I raised $8,000 on site, which was incredible. $8 grand for a noble cause. And I'd like to thank all you guys who donated as well. So we had a great time. Where's JP? JP is there's JP. So if you guys see JP in the chat box, there's he and his beautiful bride Frances. My ex-partner Mike McDougall from Wealth Creation Investing was there. You might see emails from him. It was just a great time. It was a really, really good time. And yeah, so hopefully you guys next time we do something like this, we can throw a what the hell's this? Oh boy. Oh man. So more to come on this. That's comical. Anybody know who this is? I guess that just came out today. No wonder my phone's been been buzzing here. Oh man. All right. On that note, I'm gonna get going, and I am going to fix the sit rep. You guys, oh man, I'm in a lot of trouble for today. So, all right, guys, I got to get going. I'll get you the replay. I'll get you the replay here, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow on the primary live trade brief. So God bless, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow on the PLTB. We'll see you.